questions for all you guys?
Yeah, first of all, marketing this week. Expect a great crowd on Saturday. Obviously, SEC Big 12 Challenge. I think there's less than 1,000 seats available. So just encourage everybody to grab them while they have them online or call the ticket office. Also, just really want to encourage our season ticket holders on this game to please come to the game. If you can't, we certainly understand that. Lots of things going on, but please take the time and effort to give your tickets to Texas fans. We want to show a great crowd. It's a big game, obviously, and we also want to show Coach Barnes the respect that we think he deserves or know he deserves. With that all said, 7 o'clock tip. We're going to open the doors at 5:30, 30 minutes earlier than normal to try to relieve some of the parking issues and traffic and all that good stuff. So 5:30. Appreciate each of you in your different ways getting the word out on that. That's to the students and the general public and season ticket holders. Bevo will be here. I know that's a personal favorite of RT's. Every morning I talk to RT about a lot of things, but seeing things always comes up is when Bevo's coming. So I know RT's happy for that one. 5:30 to 6:30 at the North Plaza. Bevo will be there. Which Bevo is this?
15.
Thank you, Brian. Augie? Bevo 15. Got some great partners here with Texas basketball. Campus events and entertainment are stepping up once again for this one. Free cupcakes for the students. Yes, that's what I said. Free cupcakes for the students. 5:30, Gate E is in Edward. Cupcakes. RT, what's your favorite kind of cupcake?
Man, wow. Probably chocolate cupcake.
Icing or no icing?
Icing.
Okay. Augie, have you ever been called a cupcake?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Rightfully so.
So that's your marketing update this week on the 40 acres here. Obviously proud to be joined by RT and Augie here, and with Coach Barnes coming in. Wanted to give them an opportunity to speak about Coach and answer any questions with their relationship with Coach Barnes. But as we all know, he's the all-time winningest coach in Texas basketball history. Won 70% of his games in 17 seasons here. In those 17 seasons, went to the NCAA tournament 16 times. Really a run unparalleled in college basketball. Not Texas college basketball, but college basketball. 14 straight between 99 and 2012. You guys know 5 trips to the Sweet 16, 3 to the Elite 8, and obviously a Final Four. RT and Augie were involved in a lot of those streaks, and certainly Chris Ogden was a big part of the streak, the Final Four streak. Coach Barnes knows all about that. Third time in school history, Final Four when we made it in 2003, and just appreciative of everything Coach Barnes did here. 3 Big 12 titles, 13 straight 20-win seasons. So I've said it before, but in my personal opinion, and I'm only one small person in the whole operation here, but in my personal opinion, didn't get the exit from Texas that he deserved. And so we welcome this game back, and we can't wait to see Coach and just thank him for everything he did for Texas basketball. And I know I don't even need to say this, but I just want to take pride in being one of those people in the Irwin Center that will show great appreciation to make sure we show the class that our program is all about at Texas and our fan base and our university and our city. But I know when they introduce this really good Tennessee team, I know I'll be right there with everybody else thanking Coach Barnes in the appropriate way. With that being said, any questions for RT and Augie? I know both these guys are extremely close to Coach Barnes, as am I.
Any questions for Coach Ogden, Coach Terry? Just raise your hands, please. We'll direct you. Ogden, use the mic, please. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, RT, I just want for both of you, really. There had to have been a point in y'all's coaching careers where you felt the decision of, I can be a head coach. And I wonder, what role did Rick play in developing y'all as coaches to go on to become head coaches?
Well, just for me, it starts with him just giving me a chance, from recruiting me, bringing me here, and then taking a chance on me as a coach right from playing, and then empowering. Speaking for me, and I'm sure RT too, empowered us to be a real part of the whole part of the program. And you don't realize it at the time until you are a head coach or later down the road of how he was preparing you for that. But it was just really the opportunity that he gave you to be a part of every part of the program.
Yeah, I'll echo some of that as well. I think the thing that struck me with Coach when I first got here was when he hired me, he said, hey, I'm not hiring a guy to come and recruit players. I'm hiring a guy that wants to come in and think like a head coach every single day that he comes in to the office. And, he gave you an opportunity to wear many hats and be a part of, to Augie's point, in terms of game prep, working with the media, doing all different types of things that were going to prepare you to be a head coach. But that was the one thing. He also placed the emphasis on how important building a staff and putting a staff together was for you to being a head coach. And I know for us, we had a lot of continuity with our staff over the years that I was here, and I think that really helped us be successful. But he was really big on that as well. So that was something that always stuck with me as I moved forward and had an opportunity to be a head coach. Your staff's your number one priority.
Roger, go ahead.
Augie, playing for him, coaching with him, what was that like in your career to go from a guy that, he recruited you, you may be starstruck, to a guy that, you're sitting in meetings trying to figure out how to win games alongside him?
Yeah, I mean, pretty quickly you once you jump over to the other side, you realize some of the things you thought he was crazy for when you were a player makes sense now, and so it was a pretty quick transition, but learned a lot from him just both as a player and then was able to apply some of that into coaching as I got to coach with him. So just been a big part of my life throughout, really.
I guess if y'all been able to watch him from afar at Tennessee, have y'all seen him maybe evolve a little bit, or is he doing a lot of the same things that led to the run that Chris mentioned here? Is he doing that in Tennessee as well? Have you seen maybe a next step from him even at this point in his career?
A lot of the same things. Everybody evolves a little bit and adapts and changes a little bit, but his teams are still very physical. They guard you, they rebound, they share the basketball, and some of the things he does offensively are a little different than his tenure here, but there's some staples too as to what he does, and he's a little calmer on the sidelines now. He just sits there and kind of watch. He just sits there now. We're used to he was fiery on the sidelines, and I know he still has it, but he's much more subdued on the sidelines now.
I think too he's also carried over what he was able to do here in terms of being able to attract some of the best players to come and play for his program as well. And Coach is one of those guys that's going to take on the personality of the guys that he's working with every day, and he's been able to always have really good guards, and he's been able to always have stellar big guys that can play physical for him.
One thing I was curious about, Rodney, Mac is here, Rick is here, and kind of when Jody was one, that was the heyday, really, of your current century and stuff. And I just wonder, I remember when Texans were the villain a lot of times. I would go to the opposing courts and it was like Tuesday night, but it was everywhere, right? And it's just how did Rick always did he like that? I mean, was he cool with all that? Did he welcome that?
Yeah, Coach is one of those. If you get to know Coach, he's really a practical joker all the time, and he's really loose in the locker room before the game and things of that nature there. But I think he just more importantly, he got our guys in our program to embrace, the hate. Much like what Coach is doing here. Likewise, we're building a foundation here right now to embrace that in terms of when you go on the road, man, we're going to get everybody's best game, and they're going to be up. We're not going to get anybody not ready to play us and everything. So, we're trying to set the same type of tone with the guys that we have right now. And Coach has done a great job of getting our guys to understand that whole situation. When you go into a hostile environment, much like we did the other night, man, you got to be able to bring your A game, but be excited about it. And he was always a guy that was always loose and was up to the challenge.
Jeff, go ahead, please.
Augie, or Chief, as well as you guys, the final 4 years, kind of one of the watershed years for this program. Was there a point, I don't know, maybe going back to the previous season or some point early in that season when y'all realized that could be a really, really special kind of year?
TJ Ford.
TJ Ford. It's year before going to the Sweet 16. That was a big moment for us, and then in particular in that year, our win at Oklahoma, the final game of the year, when they'd kind of been a thorn in our side a little bit, and us coming back from 15 down in that game and winning championship and playing well, in that game, and kind of just you really felt something right there that we had it coming together. Now we turned around and lost to these guys in Dallas the next week.
First round.
But we,
Then the streak happened.
yeah, and then that's when we became a big fan of streaking.
No, that was a big game. That was a senior day at Oklahoma, and really kind of locked up the number 1 seed for us a little bit in winning that ball game. And I also thought once we got into the tournament, we got past the first round, and we played probably Gene Katie's last really good team at Purdue. I mean, that was a dogfight to win that ball game over in Birmingham. And from that point on, I thought our guys really realized, hey, man, you know what? We can not only get to the Final Four, but we have an opportunity to win the Final Four and win a national championship. So I think those 2 games in particular stick out to myself in that run.
There's one more game, RT. There was that big Princeton game.
Oh, that big! I mean, we were dead in the water.
We
We
were struggling.
yeah.
Big shot.
Yeah,
Forget
big
who-
shot. We
forget
bought a
who
guy
hit
in
it,
off the bench. I mean, he made a couple big shots, and man, we never looked back after that. I mean, we were dead in the water. Guy came in and just nailed some threes,
Coaches, you may not remember the score, but you never forget the players. Right? You never forget the guys, right? And TJ's around, Chico's here, Black is here, Walker comes to a lot of games. Have y'all been getting calls from other guys that maybe you haven't talked to in a while?
Quite a few have reached out and are trying to get back in, or planning on coming back in. Some are living outside the state, but they're doing everything they can to get back, and expect quite a few former players to come and see Coach, and so we're getting a lot of inbound.
And Coach has done a great job this year in reuniting the Texas basketball family. And, with that, a lot of guys that hadn't come to games over the years have come out to games and come out to practices. And they've really embraced that, and stuff. But, again, he's done a great job of really setting the culture in terms of embracing and wanting those guys to come back and be a part of what we're doing here.
One of the last ones for RT Ogden. Chris, I guess, big picture question. How was Rick able to do what he did at Texas, kind of maximize the potential that people always see in the YouTube program?
Well, I think he had great relationship. It starts at the top with the Lost Odds administration. Great leadership there. I think that he formed great staffs. He's a great leader himself, and then I think Coach would tell you you can't do it without great players. So we had some really, really good special players and teams come through here, and I certainly wasn't one of those, but I got to play with some of them, and so when that comes together, it's becomes special.
All good? Ogden, RT, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach Rodney?
Chris, kind of an unusual dynamic here. You're afraid the guy's going to come in and try to beat you. How do you kind of get locked in, or do you just wait when the ball's kicked? Basketball game, and everybody else is just the opponent.
Yeah, to me, it's no different than most nights out. I got a lot of respect for a lot of coaches around the country. So this one's obviously a little bit unique in the fact that there's just real relationships here. I was coaching at Fort Scott Community College in 1999, 2000. It was my first head coaching job, and that's when I think Coach Barnes either got here right around that time. That's when I met him. One of the players that was on our team, they were recruiting, and just vividly remember Coach coming to town and having a chance to meet him, and just been pulling for him ever since. He's been a big part of my career, and his relationship with Coach Knight was well documented, and I benefited from that relationship because we got really close with these guys through Coach Knight and Coach Barnes' friendship.
Joe, go ahead. Kind of big picture. I don't know if we'll talk to you before Tuesday, but these next 2 games, for a variety of reasons, very emotional. Whether it be go back to Lubbock, Coach Barnes coming back. Do you draw something from the players, considering to them it may be, it is just Tennessee, it is a conference game at Texas Tech, and maybe not all the surrounding storyline?
No, this isn't about me. It's about Texas basketball, 21, 22, and almost halfway through the Big 12 race. What I do spend time talking about is you got to get yourself emotionally attached to the game. And, it's well documented. When people get up to play against Texas, and I think it's just a sign of respect for our past coaches and players in the program and the university. So we're going to get everybody's best shot, and we understand that. We embrace it. We like that. And you're going to get everybody's best shot when you get to the NCAA tournament too. So it's like that for a lot of us, not just Texas. I mean, in the Big 12, it's the same for all of us. But I do think you got to get emotionally attached to the game, and I think you see that in sports all the time. I think I've told you guys my kind of view on it. You get to that championship game, both games are very emotional. Locker rooms are both emotional. One because you came up a little bit short, and one because you won a championship. I think championship teams, contenders, can put themselves in that feeling zone every game. You can get yourself emotionally attached to a game.
Jeff, Chris, can I ask kind of more of a big picture type deal, but your two signees were made in the McDonald's game this week. What is it? It's a good thing for the program, but just not that it validates you recruiting really good players, but I just talk about both those guys, and I know you've seen Dylan, you've had a chance to see Artero Morris this year, but just your thoughts on just both those guys getting named McDonald's.
Yeah, certainly happy for Dylan and Terrio, but also we think every player in the class is one of the best players in the country. So everybody can't make those games and get those honors, but we, I think got to give the staff a lot of credit. RT and Uric and Jarence, then the support staff also involved in recruiting in the ways that we can, did a great job. So, I think all the guys on our staff are future head coaches. For Augie and RT, they'll be doing it again whenever they're ready, and for these other guys, just waiting on their opportunity. So I thought the staff did a great job in recruiting, and we're really pleased for the players that we have coming to Texas, and look forward to recruiting some more guys this spring to join them. But awards and honors like that, I don't want to speak for those players, but I think they'd be the first to tell you, because I've spoke to them about it. Those things don't happen unless you're playing with other good players and you're in good programs and you're playing for good coaches. And so I think those are kind of team awards too.
Brian, go ahead.
This is a little bit of follow-up to Tuesday night, but the focus that your guys showed in that environment, with the students and all that raining down on them. And to Joe's credit, Saturday, the next Tuesday, and then on. What did you think of their ability to lock in a pretty wild scene? How they need to do it again and again?
Yeah, I liked it. Proud of those guys. We talked about it, we prepared for it, and then we went out and executed. We played some great defense in that game. You think about it, but the first two possessions were not two of our better ones. TCU scored on the first two possessions, but we answered on the offensive end. We just kind of calmed the storm early. I think after that first 4-minute game, we were right there, either up one, even somewhere in there. So that's what we wanted to do, is get off to a good start. We did. Not a great start, but a good start. Then we really settled in. But I thought our veterans came to play. I thought our young guys really contributed. And it was a calm locker room, had some poise to it. But I thought, there'll be some environments as tough as that. But I don't think there'll be anything quite, more tough. I mean, TCU did a great job setting that game up, and they had a great atmosphere. And we look forward to playing in many more atmospheres like that.
Joe, a couple of years ago, you probably remember this run before the shutdown. Brock was playing phenomenal basketball, and Shock had said, "I can't take him off the floor, even though he couldn't score that much." And that's the case then. Is that kind of the case now? He's a guy that you're struggling to take off the floor because of all the things he does, whether it be scoring or not scoring?
No, I don't view it like that. I've always said, I've said it before, right? So everybody kind of has a identity, and Brock's is how hard he plays and his toughness, but I've never seen him like that. He's a really good basketball player. He's a top 100 recruit. He's a guy that could play anywhere in the country. He continues to work on his game and skill level. So I view Brock as a guy that's one of our best players, and we have a deep team. And, he's been patient. He's been working really hard, and he's deserving of more time. But I've always viewed Brock like that. I'm not sitting around thinking, man, he's playing out of his mind. I think these are things that Brock's doing that I expect. He's a good player, and I think he's earning more time now with his production, and proud of him. He's playing great.
I would like to know what the guys said of his LeBron-esque move on the perimeter, pump fake and drive, and I mean that's him playing out his mind.
I don't think so. Bronny's a good player. That's a shot fake and an A-zone shot. I think sometimes Brock, he's a good passer. He's got good IQ, and I think sometimes he's thinking more inside out when he gets the ball in that baseline, and we're encouraging him to be more aggressive. It's a fine line, right? But I think that play was just him going to score. We see that every day at 3:30 in practice. It was nice for it to show up in the game. But I think sometimes around the basket he's too unselfish. But I like Brock when he's aggressive. We need him to score. He's an offensive threat. He's worked really hard on his shooting, and he's a good finisher on that baseline.
Two last ones for Coach. Go ahead, Jeff.
Chris hit 22 fast break points the other night. Has there been more point of emphasis from you and the staff on turning defense into offense, or was Tuesday just one of those nights where you were able to push it after rebounds and steals and it worked out?
Yeah, it hasn't been a new point of emphasis. It's been a consistent point of emphasis. We talked a lot on the first day of practice about the diversity that your offense has to have. You can't score all your points on out-of-bounds plays. You can't score all your points on half-court offense. You have to get a variety. So I think a couple things, the better our guards continue to rebound, it just presents a great fast break opportunity when a guard gets a rebound. That's all basketball. I think, TCU is a really good offensive rebounding team that obviously is totally committed to it, sometimes crashing 4, as many as 5 people. So that gives you some opportunities to run on teams like that a little bit more than the next guy. And I thought, our defense created some rush shots, some late shot clock shots where we know they have to shoot, and that puts our rebounders in better situations. So we definitely had one of our best nights of offense in transition, primary break, secondary break, some totals, some fast breaks. But it's not a new emphasis. We've been trying to get that done from day one.
Roger, go ahead. You're never sure with these challenges what your opponent's going to be from the time they set it up to now. This is a top 25 team, won a BCS game and a resume game. I know they're all big because of Big 12, but pretty big non-conference challenge Saturday too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. To have Tennessee and Coach coming back in here to Austin's an opportunity. The next game on the schedule is always the biggest game, but there's the asterisks, right? I'm sure people that are playing Duke right now, Coach K's last season, to not recognize the platform of that game. So this no different for us. Coach coming back, SEC Big 12 Challenge. It's an also really interesting day in college sports, right? Like we're right in the middle of the grind, and we all stopped for a day. And on this Saturday, I think both leagues have executed it really well, right? I mean, not a lot going on in terms of other sports. Got some NFL playoffs and stuff, but on this Saturday, it's the big show, the SEC Big 12 Challenge, and it's also one of the few times you sit around and root for everybody in the Big 12. So there'll be some texts going around that morning and afternoon, coaches pulling for each other, and so for us, quality opponent, no doubt. I agree with you. An NCAA tournament team, a top 25 team. They've got Coach Barnes' DNA all over them. They rebound, they play physical, they share the ball. They got an NBA point guard. And so for us, it'll be a great challenge. But, February's right around the corner. We better get ready to challenge this because we got a bunch of them coming up.
Thanks all. Appreciate your
Thanks.
time today.